Yo, what is up, my Shadow Armies? It is I, Shadow Critias, back again with another anime versus matchup video. So yes, today I'll bring you guys a new versus matchup video, and today we have Kaneki from Tokyo Ghoul versus Lucy from Elfen. And before I continue on, this is my personal opinion about who I believe actually would win. If you guys believe that one of these characters actually would win, let me know in the comment section down below and give me your honest opinion why you believe and why you would like to see this matchup in Death Battle, which I'm also be the one that I will be interested in this if this was in Death Battle. Mainly because, well, they both kind of similarity but different origin in a way. And I dig up some research that I could find, and all I can find was just a little bit details, because I only see Tokyo Ghoul the first season once, never seen the other ones, the second season or the second series or whatever, or a sequel, whatever you much would call it. And I have seen Elfen once as well. If you guys saw my review on both of them, you pretty much know my honest thoughts on it. That I watched Elfen because of seeing the death battle between Lucy versus Carnage, and Tokyo Ghoul was highly recommended by one of my old friend of mine. So I watched them and did review for each of them, and I never thought about the fight between them two, about who actually would win. So yeah, this is just my personal opinion about who I believe will win. So I gathered all the research that I gathered for the character, so I turned them into another texting audio reader, whatever. So yeah, I'm not good of a reader, so that's the reason why I let the voice reader do all the talking, etc. So what you're about to hear right now is what I got so far. I tried to find more, but I couldn't, so the result I found from the research is what I could gather right now. So yeah, again, this is my personal opinion about who I believe I should win. So with that out of the way, let us go ahead and get into the combatants.
As a child, Kaneki had all of the same features when he initially had as a human, such as his black hair. When he was in university, Kaneki was somewhat a short and scrawny young man with no athletic background, and preferred to read books rather than play sports. In his free time, he wears casual clothing. After the steel beam incident, Kaneki bears a scar from the transplant operation on the right side of his abdomen from his navel. At his work, he wears a standard Entaiku uniform, consisting of black trousers and a gray waistcoat over a white shirt and a brown necktie. He could not control his single kakugen that manifested in his left eye, but he eventually managed to master it. He also wears a medical eye patch in order to hide it. The mask he wears in combat, the eye patch mask, resembles a dark leather gimp mask with an eye patch on its right side. It bears a lipless mouth with large, gnashing teeth, much like a restrained asylum psychotic monster. Those bolts sticking out of his neck and the fact that he is an artificial ghoul invoke a Frankenstein-like theme. After being tortured by Yamori, his appearance changed drastically. His hair became completely white, his nails were blackened, and he developed a more muscular physique. He began to favor monochrome clothing and wore a form-fitting black bodysuit with cutouts when going into battle, in order to release his kagun or his weapon. When Kaneki became Hei's Sasaki, he developed black streaks on his white hair, and his hair became more curly. He also wore a white ghoul investigator outfit, much like everyone else in his squad. Over time, his hair began to resemble closer to his previous self, in which it began to straighten and develop more black streaks. Eventually, Kaneki fully regained his black hair again. He wore glasses, due to the blindness he was developing, and wore gloves to hide his hands. He also wore black clothing to capture the Reaper look, hence his name. Kaneki's hair would eventually turn back white after having his limbs repeatedly cut off by RWBY. His arms would eventually regrow, but in a more abnormal shape and form. When Kaneki emerged from the dragon Kakuya, his hair had grown significantly longer and his arms were fully healed, back into his regular human arms. His neck appears to have scarring all over it. Years later, Kaneki retains his white hair and the scarring on his neck, but he has cut his hair back to a shorter length, as well as developed a new scar on his left eye. He now wears casual clothing as he did from the very beginning. Powers and abilities. Powers. One of Kaneki's early, as well as iconic versions of his Kagoon. Ghoul physiology. After the steel beam incident, Kaneki transformed into an artificial one-eyed ghoul, developing ghoul powers and abilities after receiving Riz's Kakao. He struggled to control his powers due to his mental state, and started off as being rather weak. Over time, however, he has learned how to control them and eventually surpass his opponents. Rinkaku Kagoon. Kaneki received a Rinkaku Kagoon after having Riz's Kakao transplanted inside of him. He initially had trouble adapting to using to them, but was fully able to make good use of them once he fought Yamori. Kaneki's Rinkaku has changed throughout the series, in which he's been to grow more tendrils and they would develop different visuals to them, depending on the amount of humans and ghouls he's consumed. His Kagoon has also developed unique abilities as he was recently able to develop a sword in the shape of his Quink from his Kagoon. Kaneki's latest Kaguya. Rinkaku Kaguya. Ever since his first consumption from the ghoul, Yamori, Kaneki has developed a Rinkaku Kaguya, which has went through various changes from the amount of other Kagujas he's consumed. In addition to this, his Kaguya has developed into becoming stronger and more powerful than before. Superhuman strength. Kaneki seems to have a high-level degree of superhuman strength due to Kaneki ability to lift heavy things and survive when felled into a rock or a hard concrete wall. Superhuman speed. Kaneki has developed speed that surpasses humans. His speed allows him to blitz through large groups of opponents in a matter of short time. Very few people have been to rival with and surpass his speed, and those that do are usually half human and half ghoul hybrids such as Furuta, Arima, Takizawa and Eto. High-level pain immunity. Kaneki has developed a large resistance to pain ever since his transformation into a ghoul. While he can still be injured, he has taken injuries that can be considered fatal, such as having his limbs sliced off, his eyes stabbed out completely and more. High-level pain tolerance. Ever since he was tortured, Kaneki was able to handle a lot of pain without showing signs of pain, such as when Yakumo Omori twisted his leg, breaking it, but Kaneki was still able to kick him. Supernatural regeneration. Kaneki inherited this power to Riz Kamishiro due to Kamishiro's ability to regenerate faster to avoid death. He has been to regenerate both massive wounds done to him, as well as limbs. He initially had difficulty regenerating certain parts of his body, as his arms were not fully healed when they were cut off by Arima, but after his experience as the dragon, he was able to fully regenerate them. Abilities. High intelligence. Kaneki is an extremely intelligent person. Most his knowledge comes from his fixation on reading books. He has also been able to connect reality with the novels he reads from Sentakasuki. He is also cunningly smart and tactical when in combat, which is one of the few reasons why the CCG looks at him as an impressive ghoul investigator. Martial arts. Kaneki is extremely aggressive fighter due to his ghoul physiology and always reading about martial arts and other defensive skills. He is an excellent combatant when it comes to swordsmanship, as Arima trained him well and noted his improvements. Equipment. The Eye Patch Mask. Eye Patch Mask, Kaneki's iconic ghoul mask, made and given by Yuta. He wears this mask whenever he is in combat with ghoul investigators, as well as to hide his identity. It is designed with an eye patch that covers his regular eye, while his ghoul eye is left exposed. Yukimura 1-3, Sasaki's personal quink weapon, which he received from Orima. It is a long-bladed weapon that can cut through ghouls easily. Weaknesses: using his Kakuya causes Kaneki to lose his grip on his sanity. His Rinkaku is fairly brittle. Damage to his brain of the sort Orima did can cause him to lose his memories. Anything that reminds him of his past life can cause a mental breakdown, mentally and emotionally unstable. Again, severe damage to his brain will cause loss of memories. Severe damage to his brain. If his true body is removed from the dragon, it will begin to collapse into individual tentacles. Possibly damage to his brain. In the Kumekura province, a young girl named Ket was found alone after being seemingly abandoned by her parents. While a local orphanage took her in, she faced discrimination due to the two horn-like appendages present on her head. The staff avoided interacting with her while the other children demanded that she leave and harassed her repeatedly to enforce this message. Ket paid them no mind, and tried to comfort herself by taking care of a stray puppy that lived nearby. However, a group of bullies soon found them and went on to murder the dog in front of her eyes, triggering an inner darkness that had previously laid dormant until that point. In a matter of seconds, she lashed out and killed every one of them, all without lifting a finger. This was Ket's first awakening to her nature as a Diclonius, a newly evolved species destined to one day supplant humanity as the most dominant life form on Earth. As she fled the orphanage in her despair, she conversed with a voice within her DNA that represented her primal instincts. It convinced Ket that she could not hope to possibly coexist with humans, and drove her to kill in order to forsake her humanity and make the world their own. For the next 5 years, she did just that by slaughtering various innocents to survive and unknowingly spread the Diclonius virus, until she was captured by the mysterious Diclonius Research Institute and detained in an offshore facility to be experimented on. After 3 years of captivity, Ket, now referred to by the codename Lucy, attempted to escape captivity. While successful, she was rendered unconscious, causing her to develop a third personality named NYU, which represented whatever remained of her innocence. She was eventually found ashore by Kauta, a schoolboy who once was Ket's sole childhood friend, and was invited to live with him and his cousin Yuka. Since then, Lucy has remained dormant, while she and NYU attempted to peacefully coexist with her friends, often re-emerging when confronted with other Dicloni or Special Forces soldiers hell-bent on recapturing her. Powers and abilities. Vectors, aside from their unusual colors and horns, the main defining feature of a Diclonius, at least to those who can see or are aware of their presence, is their vectors. These are invisible and intangible arms which sprout out of their backs, and are often used as their main source of self-defense and, if need be, murder. Such a name actually has its basis in 2 different fields of science. Biological vectors are organisms which spread diseases and viruses from one being to another, while vectors in physics are forces that have both magnitude and direction. Both of these definitions apply to the ones possessed by the Dicloni to different extents. Vectors are extensions of a Dicloni's body, and serve as extra limbs they can manipulate at will. They are invisible to non-Dicloni, although it is still possible to feel their presence and hear them on very rare occasions. On their own, They possess inhuman levels of strength and toughness, capable of cutting through or lifting almost anything, launching their main bodies far enough to mimic flight, and acting as a shield to defend against explosions and other large area of effect attacks. They can also move fast enough to guard their main bodies against fast-moving projectiles and kill people before they realize they are already dead. Each Declone has a set amount of arms, as well as a range in which they can reach up to. In Lucy's case, her vectors over around the mid-10s mark with originally 2-meter range. It is possible for a Declonius to push past these limits by sprouting more arms and increase their size and range, but doing so can be risky and lethal. Continuously overusing and pushing their vectors will result in their body deteriorating and melting, eventually leading to their death. Lucy herself at her peak is able to create up to 28 vectors, in which an individual vector can reach the length of over 2,700 miles and a width of 51 miles. If she were to place all her vectors side by side, that means they can cover over 1,400 miles in comparison. That's longer than the United States and can cover over half of the country. Cellular stitching. Lucy's vectors are unique in that they are capable of reconnecting and restoring damaged cells, allowing her to heal at a much faster rate than a normal human being would. Thus, in the event that her vectors cannot defend her and she is hurt, she can just tie them back together to continue fighting. She can also use this ability on other people. The above example sees her reconnect countless damaged cells together after he suffers a near-fatal injury. Whether this power allows her to manipulate cells in ways other than reconnection is unknown, although this could theoretically allow her to attack opponents on a cellular level as well. Vector intangibility. Vectors themselves are made of molecules, which can vibrate at variable speeds to perform different tasks. At lower speeds, the arms are rendered intangible, allowing them to move through most objects unimpeded. As the vibration increases, so do the vector's ability to exert their power by slashing and lifting heavy materials or disrupting blood vessels, eventually capping off with fast-moving molecules that allow them to cause miniature explosions. These speeds can be changed on the fly, allowing Lucy, for example, to render her vectors intangible, phase through a target and speed up to rip out vital internal organs. Barriers. In a situation where she is forced on the defensive, Lucy can create barriers around her body using the vectors to wrap it up. Hence, oftentimes when she is shot at, the vector's invisibility makes it look like projectiles, whether as small as handgun fire, or even as large as missiles, just outright stop before they make contact with her body. While it should be theoretically possible to penetrate the vector's defense with brute force, it is more likely that she can be damaged by abusing gaps within the vectors to hit parts of her body. Declonius virus. The vectors also contain a mysterious virus that spreads to any human male it comes into contact with. This is theorized to be the main reason why the Decloni possess their vectors, not as a weapon, but as a tool to ensure the spread of their species. When infected, their genetic code is rewritten such that any offspring they father will always be a Declonius, regardless of whichever woman they end up impregnating. Lucy inherited this virus from the first true Declonius, her mother. That being said, the virus itself is not fatal, nor does it afflict infectees with any harmful side effects, so for the purposes of a fight to the death, it is essentially useless.
Strength. When she was younger, she was strong enough to toss a man into the ceiling, ripped off the secretary's head with strength alone. In the manga, killed multiple children at once due to them killing her puppy, able to slice off flesh like butter, uprooted a tree and threw it as a projectile, tossed a 75-ton giant rock at an enemy soldier. As a child, blew away multiple people's torsos and heads very casually. destroyed most of a building as well as create a giant hole in the middle of the remaining part of the building. Destroyed a chopper with a single attack, turned a human into a mangled pile of organs, split a missile in half. Tore through steel as a kid, tore Kuta's sister and father apart, destroyed an island using her vectors, sunk an island using her vectors, destroyed multiple battleships, caused a storm. Claims that she has the power to destroy the entire Earth, though she has never shown destroying the Earth completely. Went on a rampage and destroys multiple people, helicopters and buildings, destroyed multiple buildings at once. Speed. Vectors are able to react and block gunfire, evaded a bullet shot at her point blank, catched a bullet before it destroys her heart. Blitzed a group of soldiers before their bullets reached her vectors, are able to reach outer space in a few seconds, obliterated a group of Diclonius before they could react, casually reacted to and blocked a barrage of machine gun bullets, stopped bullets in midair. Deflected a caliber 50 tungsten bullet designed specifically to deal with Diclonius vectors. Durability. Survived sniper round to the head. Lucis shields tanked a slam missile, though it does injure her. Survived the explosion of the bombs that were implanted inside Mariko at point blank range, survived getting crushed by Annie's hand. As a child, caused and endured this large explosion that blew big holes through multiple floors of a building. Endured getting thrown through multiple metallic pillars, took hits from Nana, another Diclonius. Took a hit from a massive spiked steel ball through her chest, took a beating from Mariko, survived Mariko's bomb. Skill. Slaughtered 10 armored guards and escape a facility, effortlessly defeated the deadliest assassin in the military, fought and defeated Nana, who was another Diclonius, defeated Mariko, fought and killed Bando, killed another Diclonius. Killed Anna, a being able to predict the future. As a child, slaughtered the kids who tortured a dog in front of her. Survived being homeless as a child by sneaking into houses, killing people, and stealing their food for 5 years. Effortlessly defeated the deadliest assassin in the military, caused a 9.2 earthquake. Threatened to kill every human on Earth with her vectors by pushing her powers to their maximum output, at the cost of causing her body to degenerate fast. Has a kill count which reached up to tens of thousands dead. Weaknesses. Diclonius limits. While she is a truly dangerous individual, Lucis Diclonius powers have limits, with the last of them being particularly fatal. If her horns are broken, or if her pineal gland is damaged enough, it will not only cause her to lose her vectors, but forces her less combative counterpart NYU to re-emerge. NYU herself can use the vectors if she can and absolutely has to, but she lacks the violent tendencies and penchant for killing that Lucy has. Not only that, but without them, Lucy NYU would essentially be nothing more than a normal teenage girl, which makes her a lot more vulnerable than she would be with them. Double-edged sword. Pushing her abilities to their maximum for an extended period of time will cause them to slowly eat away at her body and force it to melt. At the peak of Lucis' power, her overuse of the vectors to try and destroy all of humanity while attempting to save Cooper resulted in her being reduced to nothing more than a puddle with a head easily finished off by a single bullet from a handgun. In other words, Lucis' true strength with the vectors can only be shown when she tries to literally kill herself, past the point where her own healing factor cannot continue to support her.
So to give my thoughts on who I believe actually will win, but first there's something I want to address before we get into my honest opinion on who I believe actually will win. About 10 hours ago, I posted a voting poll on who you guys believe will win in the fight between them two. Over 85 people voted, and we see what you guys see right now is 34% for Lucy and 66% for Ken to win. So a lot of y'all people believe in y'all's personal opinion that Ken will actually win against Lucy, and some of y'all believe that Lucy will actually would win. And when I got out, did my research and seen people's debate on this, a lot of people saying that Lucy would win, no debate or anything like that. And like I said before, when I posted by this recording, the post has already been deleted. So yeah, and so basically I've seen a lot of people saying this, that they think Ken would win or Lucy would win, like no debate or anything like that. But to me, I feel like this matchup will be a very close fight, in my opinion. And I definitely could see this fight as a bloodbath. And yeah, I definitely could see this fight actually happen. And the fight between them two, it would be very interesting. If I have to think of a location where they will fight at, it's really hard to say. If I had to say the fight will take place, I would say the place where Ken got taken and got tortured at, I feel that would be a good place to fight, or a facility scientist lab, like clean rooms or whatever, basically that, or something like that. And I feel like they both will go at it in a brutal and fight as a whole. And I definitely could see that Ken will start to attack and Lucy will use her burial to block, or not phased by it. And the fight will go at as like using their abilities first, then go straight to hand-to-hand combat. And I have to say, Ken is the only one who has martial artist, so basically he will have the edge of hand-to-hand combat. And none of that, his intelligence is also good, pretty much good than Lucy, because Lucy is more like in her enemies like quickly and ease without giving them a chance. But I feel like she will not try to underestimate it to Ken, because she did underestimate her sister in a way. So basically she did underestimate her. So yeah, none of that. Both of them do have healing factors, but they took time to heal, and they both of them have limits and also weakness of their own. So, and some people say that Lucy would win, like I said before, because she actually able to block a nuclear some kind of explosion. That, oh, this should be easy for her to beat down Ken. Not really, unless he's in his dragon form, because he does actually turn into a dragon. And if you look at his weakness, listen to his weakness, the only way if you remove him is remove his body out of the dragon stage. That might cause severe of his memory loss or damage his brain. For Lucy, it's just at her limits of using her power, that her body can melt to her death if she uses it too much. So again, this fight will be a equal fight in a way, because like I said in the beginning of the video, both of them are similarity but completely different of their origin. Where Ken was just a normal kid until he got bitten and became a ghoul. So basically like half human, half ghoul, because he has one ghoul eye and one normal eye. So he is basically a hybrid. And Lucy, she was just a bandit child, then later on been taken and been experiment as a weapon, or keep the virus in check, not to be spread out. So is a ghoul versus a I forget the name of the creatures they've been called by now. So it's basically like a virus against a ghoul, or it's actually is a virus against the virus, because if you get bit by a ghoul, yes, you do become a ghoul. So basically it is kind of like a virus in a way. So basically it's virus against virus in their own way. And not only that, I don't think, if I remember correctly, the show that Lucy doesn't eat anything, and for ghouls they had to eat meat and drink coffee. That's basically what they have to drink and eat. I don't know if Lucy can. And none of that, her weakness is her horn. If her horn gets destroyed, she will actually lose her power and go back to her innocent stage. as a nice one. So the fight between I can't describe how this fight will go. It will be like no holds bar fight, and it will be a bloody and brutal fight in a way. And Lucy will not try to underestimate Kane, and not Kane, Kin. Same goes for Kin as well. Will not underestimate her as well. And yeah, this fight is a tough one, and I could see either one of them would win. But if I had to say, in my personal opinion, and some people say I might agree with the people that have voted, but no, this is basically how I believe this character will win. In my personal opinion, I feel like Ken Wash would win against Lucy, mainly because of his intelligence and martial art. That will actually give him the edge of winning against Lucy, because he actually will learn and exploit the weakness of Lucy and learn how to beat her in a fight of his intelligence and his fighting skill. Now that there's a other chance that Lucy could win, because she's also smart but also not stupid. She actually will learn, find a way to beat Ken, is to, you know, explore Ken's weakness by damage the brain, causing memory loss, or remove him from his dragon stage. So yeah, I can see either one of them will win, but if I had to choose one, it would be Ken. So yeah, at the end of the day, in my personal opinion, I declare Kaneki, the Black Reaper, a Ghoul, the winner. Well guys, hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know your opinions down below to what you guys think. Do you guys believe that Lucy should have won this matchup? Or you guys agree that Ken actually won this matchup? Let me know your opinions down below to what you guys think. Like, comment, share, subscribe. Links to my other channels, my social medias will be down below the description while you guys know the drill. Again, like, comment, share, subscribe, and I'll see you guys later. Yeah, before shout out Critias, I'll see you guys later.